All right, guys, sorry about that. Was just getting organized. We're going to begin our 23rd project call. We're doing these as AMAs now, so it's going to be a lot more fun, a lot more interactive. We got a few things on the agenda today, so we'll cover a couple little updates, and then we can jump into answering some questions with the community. You can feel free to post your questions in the hashtag pre-AMA channel throughout the call, or you can wait till later on and start posting them as we start answering the questions.
Don't forget to mute your mics as you're joining in, guys. Just it'll make it everything cooler because we're recording this call and we don't want like background noise and stuff.
Awesome. Thank you, Nick. So first thing I wanted to talk about a little bit was the proposals that we'll be putting out soon. So we're going to start making a little bit of use of the snapshot to get some hot cold tests and some kind of decisions that don't need to be on chain, decisions that don't need to be made on chain finalized. So one proposal you'll be seeing coming out shortly is going to be a proposal to put together a OpenSea migration tool so that users can migrate their existing OpenSea orders to the Universe Marketplace. And this snapshot will start gauging how much the Universe community is willing to incentivize migration behavior and whether we want to mint any tokens or come up with some strategy to actually incentivize that. Another proposal, which I'm really excited about, is the proposal to freeze the polymorph base characters. So what this means is if this proposal goes through when the V2 polymorphs are launched, you'll be able to scramble and morph your polymorphs just like before, but any base character traits will not be scramblable. So if you're scrambling a Ragnarok, for example, you'll still have a Ragnarok just with new traits, or a clown, you scramble it, you still have a clown but with new traits. So this kind of gives the polymorphs a little bit of a fixed rarity on some dimension, but across the accessory dimension, the rarity is kind of not immutable and will continue to kind of be dynamic and morph, so to speak. We can jump in a little bit into the updates on the minting, auctions, and marketplace. So as I mentioned, we're architecting the user incentives models. And again, that's going to be with strong feedback from the community. We're going to need you guys to kind of not guide us, but more kind of feed in on how important you all believe this incentivization is and how much we want to kind of allocate towards that kind of stuff. Another thing we've been very focused on is improving the APIs for use with aggregators. We believe this is very important to kind of get our listings prioritized across the aggregator markets and kind of compete on this new dimension that other marketplaces have not yet really started competing over. So we hope to be kind of a leader on that front. And as kind of mentioned before, we're working on some final little updates in the auctions contract. So those are hopefully going to be coming out in the next 2 weeks. And the marketplace is on track for around 4 to 5 weeks out. As Mark likes to usually tell you guys about the yield farming opportunities, I pulled out a couple that we have. So the first one and the one that we're always excited to share is the DAO governance. When you stake in the DAO and receive your VXYZ, you do earn some rewards for participating in the governance process. So that's always a lot of fun. Additionally, you can single-sided stake your XYZ for League DAO still for about 3 more weeks. And the Enter DAO pool has ended. There's an Asto pool coming soon, but I don't have the start date for that pool. So I think if anyone is interested in that, you can tag Mark for more information there. I think that covers all of the major updates that we're going to have for the beginning of the call. So we can mostly jump into any questions that anyone wants answered, and then in a little bit we'll kind of be doing some fun activities.
What's up, Chuba? I think that Mark is like traveling right now. So right now, what'd you say?
Yeah, Mark's out. So we can get some questions flowing in and we'll be able to start answering those.
Oh, okay, nice. So let's go look at that channel because there's a question where they type in the question, and
Yeah,
I think they use pre-AMA.
Pre-AMA channel.
Here, let's scroll up and see if we have some new ones. Oh, I know we were talking in here a bunch, so we didn't get a lot of questions. If you have any questions, drop pre-AMA channel. We've been working a lot on these 3D polymorphs. For you guys, I know that people have asked me questions personally about like what's going on with the polymorphs, and stuff. For some reason everybody wants to ask me like if the polymorphs are related. Look at he just did it before I even said it. For some, I can't answer that because I don't really know, and I don't know if the polymorphs will be related to Goblin Town, but regardless, that's going to be super cool, whatever it is, because it seems like the people who are working on it are people I know that are awesome builders. But what I was about to say about the polymorphs that I can talk about is we've been really playing around with the 3Ds and like getting them ready for just like metaverse and like this second phase of making them more gamed out and more fun to play. And when that's all released, it's going to be really exciting because we just have some cool stuff that is in the pipeline, like alternative art pieces that we'll be able to play around with. And the 3D specifically, we fine tune those every day. Like we were looking at them on a call in depth today, just picking out like little ways we could improve the art and stuff. As soon as the marketplace is out, we have a lot of really cool NFT stuff in the pipeline for everybody to have fun with. I want to bet my rent in ETH on a universe algae duel. Honestly, that battle game I can talk about a little bit because I know that some of you maybe weren't here when we first introduced it. We have this battle game coming soon that is going to basically not be fully attached to the rarity, because the rarity on our site, the community asked us to make it based on matching traits. So like the best polymorphs will be the ones that are matching. They don't necessarily have to be ready for this battle game we're creating. The first game that we have started on is this battle game where, depending on how set up your character is, he'll be better at fighting. So that doesn't necessarily mean like more armor and weapons is better, but for the most part it is for that game. It still will be very random based. The advantages are very slight, but it'll make it more fun as far as like giving you something to go for to get better at that game. But that doesn't mean that you should just make your polymorph like set up for this game and make all your polymorphs like battle ready, because we want to make a lot of different types of games that are good for all the traits, if that makes sense. Like maybe the soccer outfit will be better for you at another game we release down the line, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so I think, Algie, you're highlighting a little bit about the different dimensions of the polymorphs. Even though they do have a rarity that's based on the matching traits, games like the duels will have their own kind of metrics and attributes for what actually will impact gameplay, and it's not going to look exactly like that rarity score. So there will ultimately be kind of like a different dynamic for the game, and then for other potentially different things we put out there.
When we first released the polymorphs, something that made me really obsessed with them, because I like bought like 60 polymorphs when I didn't really have that much ETH. I was just like, so that was like really like that was a lot for me to be buying that many. I like spent all my money on them, and it was because what I liked about them was basically so when I got into NFTs, the CryptoPunks were kind of already like expensive. They were like 10 to 15 ETH, and just a little out of my range. Like I couldn't buy one of those. But like a lot of like projects were still kind of like figuring out like what the market was going to be. And then like as one started release with this rarity thing, it just seems so obvious to like us, like why can none of these change and like adjust? And it was really cool how when the polymorphs came out, they kind of challenged the market dynamic and got people thinking about like, well, I should be able to make this NFT look how I want it to look. I like because most projects, the rarity is kind of chosen for you. Like you are told what you should be going for. Like you don't get to decide, I want to have this character that looks like how I want it to look, and it can still be rare. I feel like the polymorphs were like the first project that allowed you to have like a character that looks how you want, and it can still be rare. Is what I really was bullish on when I was aping the polymorphs, and I still am. And I think that it would be cool eventually to add like more rarity driven traits and like maybe like like different dynamics on new traits if that's possible, and I also think it would be cool to fork the polymorphs even and maybe make like other projects that were based on them, like similar to like how League DAO is doing with their crypto fantasy drop is eventually going to be scramblable, where you can have like this fantasy team where you're competing against other holders, and you're able to next year you're going to be able to change your team though. Like, well, this year you couldn't do that. And I think that that's just something that's cool that the polymorphs have introduced. I've even heard Aaron say that like his projects that change, like the party bears and the like the fluffs, they are a little bit based that happened because of the fact that we released the polymorphs, and it just got everyone thinking like we these eventually in the metaverse, like when you play Call of Duty or Fortnite or even like FIFA or any game, you want to be able to customize your team, and you've always been able to do that even early on in Madden. Like you would create a player, and I just think that this customizability is super important in NFTs because it's something that we've always done gaming, and like it's not something that we want to stop doing. So making your NFT project changing, in my opinion, is a very progressive way to build an NFT out, and it might not be the current market, but it's without question that it's going to be what people want when they're able to actually play games. Because right now there is no realistic, like right now the reality is we are just trading NFTs. There's no games yet, but when the games exist, we're going to want to be able to go in the game and like alter our experience, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Yeah. Um, so many people like leaking pictures of like different Charles in the chat and like all the different variations of the polymorphs there are. It's just really cool to see how, a year ago these things came out and now there's this whole community around them and all this really incredible aesthetic, albeit a little scary, art that we all enjoy and definitely identify with to some degree or another. I know this most recent clown that Mark posted is one I've been using in a lot of my tweets, just because it's so greatly and captures everything that I want to say.
Yeah, I don't know why every time I go into Blender with the 3D Charles, it ends up scary.
What is the timeline for the airdrop proposal if we plan to fully launch in a month? So the plan is that there's a usable beta out in a month. This will be live on mainnet and usable, but the incentivization model may be, a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks after. Once, we're comfortable with the product, everyone's using it, and we're able to actually be like, okay, it's time to start incentivizing people to move over here. So we don't have to launch it exactly on day one of the marketplace being out, but we do hope it's launched very shortly after.
I don't think we've released it to the community yet, but we have this tool that we've been playing with. Like that's how you see these images that Mark's sending, and it's basically this like ability that this tool we made that gives us the ability to scramble and
Don't
like
share it. Don't share it.
okay.
Don't share it.
Okay. But I'm just saying, like, projects got to think more about how they can really game out their NFTs, because there's a lot of ways to make it fun for the community. And yeah, like Chuba said, I shouldn't leak anything, but yeah, like there's just so much fun stuff we have in the pipeline that yeah, I'm not sharing it. You guys almost got me. I heard Chuba though. I listen, you know what I'm saying? If he doesn't want me to say it, then yeah, y'all thought. Okay, but yeah, like I said, there's a lot of cool stuff we have in the pipeline that is just going to be so fun for the polymorphs. They're already just fun to look at, so it just makes sense. There's another thing I just want to talk about, but I probably shouldn't. But just know that there'll be a lot of like fun stuff for you to watch and do and enjoy in the future with the polymorphs. I guess I can't really talk about the we want to do some fun stuff on social media too, with like bringing the polymorphs to life. I think I can say that, and that will be really cool when we start doing that too. Look at when universe go live. Me want to get TF off Broken Sea. See, I use Broken Sea or Open Sea every day, and I don't think it's like broken. I just think that they weren't expecting like such a huge amount of people to be using NFTs like as suddenly as they did. And yeah, I think that that it's gonna be there's gonna be room for everybody. I don't think that it's necessarily that we're trying to get rid of OpenSea. It's more of like a community building type of vibes. You know what I'm saying? Like OpenSea can exist too and learn from us the same way that we can learn from them, if that makes sense. I want Transmental though to talk about what he's talking about though.
The auction mechanics.
Yeah, I don't know how much I can say, but I played at the auction a lot, and I think it's something new for the NFT space that hasn't really been seen before. Um, how much can I?
And we can probably say this, that I know you've used it a lot, so you can definitely confirm that you probably can't come up with all the different ways you could use it, right? Like
Right. There's
there
there's a there's many layers.
you can configure it in so many different ways. You can choose to do like these crazy multi NFT drops. You can like limit it to just one or two. You can really go for so many different things, whatever works within the set of rules that there are in there, that I don't think any of us can predict exactly how it's going to be used. So there's some different use cases we predict with this kind of tiered auction model. Some of them being like just collectors, trying to find price discovery for their art. Others could be like auctioning off these really crazy art blocks collections, or a collection of like rare fluffs, or whatever else you may be interested in bundling and weird things. But then there's individual NFTs, taking a shirtless Clown Charles and seeing what that can go for just as one NFT. All different kinds of basically ways of creating an auction. And so it's very flexible.
Yeah, I think I mainly look at the auctions from an artist perspective just because I shoot photographs. But um, as an artist, like with your own work that hasn't been sold yet, using it like Chuba said as a price discovery method is going to be really exciting for artists. And then from a collector standpoint, like I'm pretty sure you can auction off like what 100 or 500 NFTs at one time in different tiers. It's going to be really cool.
Yeah, I'd love to auction off like 100 like p5.js, like things I've been toying with, but the art probably will never be good enough for me to be like I'm ready to put this up.
Drop it.
Yeah, one day, one day.
I want to see.
Interactive like P5 stuff is so much fun. But I don't think we have any alpha we can leak on that front on the universe side. Not today, at least.
What up, everybody? What did I
Hey,
miss? I'm just kidding. Y'all don't have to catch me up. I'm just saying, what's up?
Great to have you, Tyler.
What up, Tyler?
How's it going? Sorry I'm late. Just had some, Troy and I had a call that was important.
it's all good. We went through some of the community updates that we had, and then we're kind of just going back with the community a little bit in the pre-AMA channel.
Universe Popo just dropped this tweet from this Ryuki NFT, and it says it talks about how they're saying that we're a partnership with Universe. So basically, what's going on here is this is our friend Endgame from the community who is releasing an NFT project that he wanted to basically donate half the money to Universe because and it wasn't to have us help him build it necessarily, just for us to basically say like this is like this exists, you know what I mean? This project exists, and he wanted it to be one of the first projects releasing on our like minting and marketplace platform. And so we just thought that was really cool. So yeah, like all power to anybody who wants to support the DAO in any way. Of course, we don't expect this, and that's just really cool that Endgame decided that was something you wanted to do with this project. So
Yeah, I wanted to clarify, by the way, that this is Endgame, who like from the very beginning was like supportive of our project. Like he's a very involved community member that came over from Barnbridge. So a big part of this is that, like, I mean, especially for the super active community members, I mean, like, we ultimately want to support and empower people who have followed us, stuck with us, and were extremely helpful in the beginning.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, this that drop. I don't know I've been talking to him about it. I don't know if it'll be like it seems like it'll be really cool. The art is amazing. It seems different. I know it's in its early stages. So but I'm in this little channel where there's activity every day, and they have a pretty serious team working on it. So we'll see how it turns out. You'll hear more about it though, of course, when our marketplace drops, because that's where they want it to sell and trade. So yeah, that's just really cool to me that Endgame is working on that and just believes in us, because I think that it's a cool project. It is waifus, so I hope no one gets offended by it, but it's more about just the concept that that person was an early contributor who is just trying to give back because like, you know what I mean? A lot of Universe, I mean, me as well. Like when I first started helping with Universe, I was offering to help for free. And it's really just because it's really helped like change my life, really, even if that sounds corny, in a way that I just want to give back in any way I can, if that makes sense. So I can relate to it.
I'm also working on a custom drop for the polymorphs that I have not told anyone about, that I've self-funded up to this point. And I'm actually going to give 100% of the proceeds to the DAO. And hopefully the DAO and community will allow me to vote that out to myself so that I can compensate basically an army of 3D modelers and gaming people who I've been recruiting for the past 2 months to build a metaverse for the polymorphs, and we'll call it redacted because I'm not going to tell anybody what the name is. I haven't brought it to the Universe team other than a few members because I don't want anyone distracted while we're working on the marketplace. But I will say that it's dope as fuck, and that's what I want to do with the capital from the drop. So I think it's in everybody's best interest because I want us to have a cool ass metaverse. But that is super alpha. And yeah, ultimately the DAO can decide if they'll allow me to use those funds to compensate this army of people that I've been recruiting.
Yeah, I have no idea what Tyler's talking about, but I get what he just said.
Because I
It
haven't
honestly
told
all
him.
made sense. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, so he's not making that up. He's definitely been working on something he's been busy. So just know
What Goblin Town was supposed to be, but I gave that to Fluff World because it was too close. And I want it to look and feel more like a polymorphs type thing. So yeah, the polymorphs are obviously going to be a part of this metaverse. If all of this is successful long term, I'll probably want to build lobby lobsters into it, but like no promises. It's not going to be cheap what I'm trying to build.
Yeah, I don't know all the details or really any of them, but I know I'm voting yes, so that's going to be fun.
Wait,
It's
so
dope.
what did
Now we're gonna rock it.
Troy just show us? Like he just made a whole channel just to show us something during the AMA. I want to know if
Oh,
he had,
that's dope. So that's
Wait,
I
wait,
think
wait.
they
So
can talk.
can
Troy,
you can you hear me?
yeah, we
Yeah.
can hear you.
Yeah. So there's this group that we're working with down here in Puerto Rico, but they have this really big idea of like for NFTs and everything. And one of the things I did want to bring up on this call, because we are a global community, they're looking for kind of NFT creators around the globe. And we're going to be having kind of like a PR release from them pretty soon that breaks this down. But I wanted to create a channel so that anyone who's in here, if you are an NFT artist somewhere around the world, you should get in contact with these people. And they have right now actually a mint going on for one of their drops. This isn't like an official universe thing or anything, but it definitely kind of plays into a lot of the ethos of like what we've been trying to build. And so they have really large plans, and it starts off with kind of like NFT drops and artists and stuff like that. So I just wanted to bring some attention to it. There will be, like I said, like a PR release soon. We were talking with them yesterday about it, and I'm pretty excited about it. So if you're anywhere on the globe, like they want to have like they want to have like different places around the globe all working on this. And so yeah, I kind of have to leave it at that because I don't have like all the details of what they like. They're writing up the release, but I wanted to just kind of flag it so everyone knew that there was this thing coming. And it's a really cool idea.
Underground Man just told me that Endgame is a she, not a he, and I don't know. Either way, it doesn't matter. But that means that Endgame has done a really good job staying anon when talking to me because I can't tell now that I don't think it matters, to be honest.
Yeah. Sorry for assuming in games.
Yeah, I didn't mean to assume any genders, but I'll start calling you sir.
They could have told us a long time ago because when Rahila joined the Barn Bridge, well, actually, we called her Sir SCR Rahila too. So, well, in game's a she chad, so we're here for it. We want more she chads in the industry.
Universe Pobo said, I hope it's not Beanie.
I don't think it's Beanie. I've had a lot of DM conversations with Beanie, and they have a very different way of structuring sentences.
Yeah, very distinct style.
That is hilarious. Okay.
I wonder, like, if Beanie's just completely left the industry, or if, like,
He's
there's
already the new account that you follow. He just changed his name. You already follow him and you didn't even know it again.
Who?
Beanie, I was just kidding though. That's what he was doing. He's creating like a bunch of fake accounts. And
When Beanie left, did that one like art chick leave too?
I don't follow that person, but probably no. I think that person doxed herself. And it's actually a girl.
Interesting. Well, I would have doxed myself too if everybody thought I was Beanie after all that stuff came out.
Yeah, I think that she did it a while ago though.
Beanie was hella entertaining. Like, I'll give him that much. I mean, I don't want to get involved in whatever, like, you know, I'm sure there's two sides to every story, but that stuff was pretty damning. But
I can't lie. I hit him with the unfollow, but we followed each other until that leaked. I was like, I have to hit him with the unfollow. Not gonna lie. But anyway, but as far as more universe updates, Tyler, I think that you gotta have more alpha that you can leak us on. Like when would that? I don't think anyone's talked about like the status of, or I don't think anyone's like really ever explained to how the auctions are gonna work in general, or the status of when those are coming. If that is a thing, everything's coming soon. Like no specific date, probably.
So we won't know the timeline for the auctions until probably Friday, because the scraper is going to be affected by it, and like it's going to depend on how complete the scraper is from an API perspective. Like ultimately, the marketplace right now is probably in the short term more important than auctions. And if we have to put all hands on deck and like instead of delaying the marketplace, I think we should delay the auctions. Because there's two separate teams working on them. But we won't know based on what Ryan got back, we have a good feeling that we won't have to delay anything or change anything. So the reason that we have not released the launch date for the auctions is because we need to make sure that the auctions don't delay the marketplace. So it's contingent on incomplete information, and I think we'll know more by Friday. As far as the dope features of the auctions, I think that Transmental is the most is extremely excited about auctions. So like I would
He
rather
kind of
him-
already went over some of the
Okay.
things, but he kind of didn't really know what he could or couldn't say. Mainly like talking about like content features, but like I think we can pretty
I mean,
much
at this
tell.
point, it's so close to launching. Like, I don't care if we like nobody's gonna be able to rebuild it in like
Wait,
the
what are you
time.
worried about? What are you worried about saying?
No, I didn't know what I could say and what I couldn't say about auctions.
Yeah, I
But I
don't
think
think there's anything to worry about. I mean, to be honest, it seems like we got through. So there was like so just so everyone's aware, like we could talk about this. There was an issue that the contracts for the auctions were actually going to go over the byte limit for an Ethereum contract, but it seems like we have gotten past that. Ryan, would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, still confirming the functionality, but I don't think that's going to be a huge problem.
Yeah.
We'll
So
support it.
I don't think like we need to worry about it that much. It's not like anyone's going to come out. So I think it's totally open. We can talk about it.
Word. I mean, I kind of said everything that I wanted to say. I just didn't go in detail in like the tier system, which is I think is really the most exciting part.
Well,
Honestly, you
then
can just go into
I say
it, and
I
I
go
mean,
into it, man.
you
Drop
can
that
literally talk
alpha,
about
bro.
everything that we're about to drop. Like auctions, even if it's delayed, is launching within 30 days. Like we don't see any major blockers. So like nobody's gonna build that in 30 days. Like they'd have to be the
Right.
best dev team in the world. Like it's not gonna happen.
Okay, one thing I wanted to say is that the thing that I would like to explain about the auctions is like how they're gonna kind of like, is that okay for us to talk about, like how the auctions will actually work? Because
Yeah.
it's just really
Yeah.
sick dynamic.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
we should talk everything about the auctions that anyone knows about. Because, like I'm saying, we can drop all the alpha in the world, and nobody's going to be able to build it between now and when we drop the auctions. It would
Yeah, I
be
think the auction information is actually like somewhere in a doc, but basically the auctions have this really cool style, and I think everybody already knows that there's going to be zero fees taken out on the primary sale. But it's actually going to be amazing. When you go on Universe right now, it's just that one minting page, and I think it's like that minting page is cool and it's fun. It's like cool to use, but I think most people and most artists would say just in their head like there should be more features to this, and we obviously know that, and we have a lot of like really cool like lazy minting, pack minting that I probably shouldn't explain, but also these auctions. The auctions themselves have a really cool dynamic where you're able to split your auction up into tiers and you could just do a regular auction with one item, like that's fine, but you also have the ability to do like a auction where it has tiers and each tier can have different items. So it's like layers on layers. So like you could do an auction where you sell 3 NFTs on one tier, and the winner gets those 3 NFTs. The second tier could maybe get 1 NFT, you know what I'm saying, and it's a different item. And then the third tier could get 2 NFTs if you wanted, and
And
that
you
can
can
go on
almost
for
have
almost,
tiers within inside the tiers.
yeah, because you can get more than 1 NFT, and then yeah, you can break it down for a pretty long time the way the auctions are set up. Yeah, when it comes out though, we have it set up to where it's pretty simplified and to where it will make sense more visually when you're looking at it. But basically, all of our minting tools we've thought out a lot, and right now the one that exists is obviously pretty basic, and we know that, and that's why. But that's the only one we can really offer until our marketplace is out. Otherwise, the other new ones won't function to their full functionality, if that makes sense. So we have a lot of really cool stuff lined up, and a lot of it's coming together, if that makes sense, because it has to. So it'll be a lot all at once when we start releasing stuff. And there will be a lot of options for artists and like functionality. And the auctions, in my opinion, are going to be game changing for like a new fun way to buy NFTs.
Yeah, and also with the auctions, one of the really cool features as well is being able to like design your own custom auction landing page. And they look really beautiful. So you'll have a landing page like universe.xyz/auction/ whatever you want to name it. And then you can customize that, and it looks really good. So it's not like just an auction on universe.xyz. It's like your own custom landing page, whether you're a collector or an artist.
And that's how all the contracts are designed, which is unlike minting features that companies have available right now, which not all of them. I think there is some ways you can mint as close to decentralized NFTs, but Universe's NFTs are designed to be as decentralized as possible. So you actually own them. And I'm not saying that like you don't actually own your NFTs on it, but you own them in every aspect. Let's say, you know what I mean, and they're under your control, and if that makes sense, as much as they can be to that NFT contract's limits that
You're
you
the
benefit from.
you're the god of your NFTs.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and like bash but the one I will point out, just because it is a fact and people should be aware, when you buy an NFT off OpenSea shared contracts, go look at the NFT. And it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it is a thing. It's on the Pixel of the Apes. That's a project I love. And so it's not like I'm saying this is a bad or good thing. But I'm pretty sure they legally have to do this. If you go look at the NFT on their website, in the details, it says metadata centralized is the description of their metadata. And it shows this on any OpenSea NFT. And like I said, I think the only reason I could think of why they have that on there is for legal reasons. If it was a universe NFT, I'm almost certain it would say just decentralized.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it just won't say anything at all. It'll just say chain ETH.
Yeah. But yeah, yeah. I mean,
Should we
it's
drop
not
this
like I'm
real quick?
bashing OpenSea when I say that. I'm just stating a fact. Like that's something people should be aware of when they're buying an NFT. So it's not like if they didn't have it on there, I wouldn't be able to say that.
No, I feel you, Algie, because that I'll see art sometimes, and then I'll look at the details for the NFT, and it always kind of turns me off seeing centralized metadata.
Yeah. So I mean I know that some collectors don't even know what any of this means and like don't care about this, but I think that most artists, especially ones who do digital art, know what I'm talking about and care about this on chain stuff and like that they actually own their art, if that makes sense.
All right. Well, should we drop this Pope code?
Well, what is yeah, we can drop the Pope code once right now. The code
Drop that Pope code.
if you go into but I do want to address what Troy's like messaging in this pre-AMA channel. But the Pope
Okay, do
code,
that first.
the Pope code though is no. Let's say the Pope code. We can say it again after
All right,
this.
you guys need to go to the Pope setup channel and DM the Pope bot, Charles69, all lowercase.
That's it. You DM. I'm gonna say it one more time. Don't miss it though. I'm not gonna say it again. DM the Pope bot, Charles69, all lowercase.
Can we
All
put
one word.
can we put the code inside the Pope bot in the
No.
Pope claim?
You
No.
didn't-
Nah,
No,
because
no.
then
You
somebody
gotta
that's
listen.
not in
You
here
gotta
can get
listen
it.
for the code. You gotta listen for the code.
Oh, is that the way? That's how we're setting it up? All right, my bad.
And then you DM the Pope bot.
Yeah, don't send it in. Yeah, you can't type
Where
it
do we
anyways.
can we tag the Pope bot? Pope bot. I'm gonna tag the Pope bot.
He's
You DM this
in
guy.
the. It looks like he's in the.
You gotta if you
the
have your
Pope
DMs
code.
turned off, you gotta turn them on for a second. You hit the drop down on universe and hit privacy settings, and you can turn on messages for a second.
Well,
Make
if
sure
you
you're
DM
DMing.
him first, I'm pretty sure it'll work.
Make sure you're DMing the Pope bot.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
have
you
to.
gotta DM the Pope bot.
Charles69, all lowercase. I'll say it one more time since we confused everyone. Okay. So, what was Troy asking about? He was on some big brain stuff.
So
Is
there's
anyone-
this.
Go.
Go ahead.
No, you go. I was gonna read what you were saying. Is anyone interested in the transcoding pool with XYZ integration alpha?
Yeah, so there was like earlier in the week I said that, or like last AMA, I said that there will be things that the private company we set up will be doing to kind of build utility into XYZ. And one of the things that we are doing that's we can pretty much talk about now because we've already started a working group with LivePeer. So as you guys probably might know, there will be this streaming application that's being built that will connect to minting features inside of Universe in the marketplace. But that's cool. But we haven't really broken down how that's going to work yet, but it's coming. The thing that's really cool about this is that the way the streaming is going to work is it uses the transcoding network of LivePeer, but we're in a working group now where anyone who has a GPU will be able to add transcoding power to this this orchestrator essentially that will run this streaming application. But where it gets really cool is that will actually mine XYZ for you. And Trevor's on this call. This was actually originally kind of his idea of how we could integrate XYZ closer into this whole like streaming application. So we could pass it over to him if he wants to kind of break it down. But the promise that we would do that is being fulfilled. And I just wanted to point that out that that's like one of a couple things that are coming specifically to the token that we're working on.
And in other
Yeah.
news, nobody knows what Troy said because he's too much of a gigabrain.
Yeah, did I confuse everyone? It's all right. There's going to be documentation. There'll be docs. We'll
I get
got the
it.
docs for you guys. Yeah, there's going to be docs. There you go.
Who said that, Tim? Oh, that was
Oh.
Zach. Or no, that was Transmittal. I didn't. Sometimes I'm on calls and like literally just don't want to dox like people's.
Yeah, I know.
It's hard.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You kind of are doxed. That's okay. I'm doxed. My full government name is Tyler Ward.
I think basically everyone at Universe is doxed.
Yeah. Pretty much, for the most part.
I'm a
There might
non.
be There might
I'm
be
a
a
non.
couple. There might be a couple that no one knows.
No, I'm not a non.
We all know who you are, Allie.
Chuba wishes he was a non.
Yeah, I have respect for anon devs. It makes
No, I do too. I do too. No, it makes sense why people want to have privacy. Just don't be a non and go on social media and tell everybody what to buy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, not a big fan of anon influencers doing shady things on Twitter and the chain.
Hey, shout out to my lobby lobsters, and shout out Zach, and shout out Chad, and shout out Universe. That's all I gotta say.
Heck yeah.
Word.
Let's go.
Who said that?
Hey, man, dude, I just listen. I just love my fucking lobster. It looks like some of the photographs I take, and that's it. I'm just OD bullish on the lobsters and what they stand for, and fucking shout out Universe and shout out Zach and Chad.
OD bullish.
Let's go.
I can't promise this on the lobsters, but with this metaverse that I'm trying to build, it's just a side project. We just need to figure out how hard it would be to 3D model those to be in it. But I mean, I like the lobster.
Like the lobsters. We're going underwater.
Underwater area, and maybe even like some James Bond style shark tanks, and like I don't know if y'all seen that episode or like movie of James Bond where they got like the sharks are piranhas and they throw someone in it. I think we should put one of those in like a spaceship or something. Like some Dr. No piranha tanks.
All right, the Pope code is Charles69.
All lowercase.
Also, like while we're on this, Ben Franklin on here, I had a call with him on Sunday, and he asked some like pretty good questions about like our generalized like go to market, and I kind of want to just like everyone contributed to that post and on like forum, and that was honestly like one of the more dope things that I've seen because of any project that I'm attached to. I think that was like one of the most engaging, like that was like YFI level engagement or like Olympus level engagement for a forum post, just in terms of the ideas and the gigabrains of this community. So I kind of want to, I've been talking a lot with Ryan, Tim, Troy, even before that. And we had a call with, it's called like JPEG XYZ. It's like the old Yam kids. And the way that they were talking about XYZ, they saw it most closely aligned with Zora, which is like a centralized company that's using like a lot of our talking points, that they're like building an open protocol. Ultimately, a centralized company just is never going to build as open of a protocol as what
An
we're
open protocol. That's such a cool idea.
Yeah. I don't think that they're ever going to be able to be fully open though, because it's a centralized company that's building it, right? But I do think some of their talking points are good. And one thing that I thought was very good that they built was essentially like a finder's fee that allows people to plug into Universe, and essentially they like if somebody went from their website and essentially ended up like doing it, then they would be able to take a portion of that fee, which like you can kind of already do. And so that opened up conversations where like Billy was talking to Joe Lubin about doing something like this with MetaMask, and like I haven't really pushed that forward too far. But it starts to solidify like just how powerful it is what we've built. So like the way that like Amazon scaled as a business is they had these massive like referral networks, and those referral networks literally built Amazon's business. At one point, Amazon just shut the referral network down, which is why you can't really ever trust a centralized company, because they just thought they were so big that why are we paying these people anymore? So if we create a finder's fee where like curators and influencers and people can plug into Universe, I think that in a similar way that Amazon scaled, we can scale Universe. And I even talked to like Andy from Fractional, and like this would incentivize like League DAO wanting to plug in to our marketplace, where like League DAO could have its own marketplace on its website that plugs into Universe and essentially takes a portion of that. It also incentivizes places like let's say that this conversation that we're not even having yet with MetaMask, they decide to integrate into Universe. Well, that's going to incentivize like League DAO, Fractional, InterDAO, Fluff World. Everybody's going to want to essentially accumulate the XYZ token so that they can have a say in governance, that we don't essentially mark that finder's fee to zero. The curators will want that. If they built a business on top of Universe the way that people built businesses on top of Amazon, then naturally they're going to want to have say in the governance of how that finder's fee is governed. And so I think that that's extremely powerful from a go-to-market perspective versus something like Looks, that ultimately how much real volume's there. Like if they're doing that much volume, you would have seen it cut into OpenSea, and OpenSea is hitting record highs in volume. So we don't want to just launch a Ponzi and try to vampire attack OpenSea, and we waste a bunch of our tokens and governance so that we're not actually drumming up any real volume. So we've really thought about how do we release something and long term go after the monopoly that is OpenSea. But to clarify OpenSea's moat, the monopoly lives in the fact that all of the listings are on OpenSea. And if you think about like Pareto's law and just the 80-20 principle, the top 200 collections on OpenSea account for 95% of the volume. And so I think that what we should be doing is incentivizing those collections to move over. And so in the short run, if we do that by making it cheaper to make trades on Universe, yes, that will cut into the fees that the DAO essentially accumulates. But keep in mind, if you look at CoinMarketCap from 2017 until now, the top 200 projects are completely different. None of them are essentially the same. So I think that our auctions that are revolutionary that we've been talking about will take care of the long tail, where more groups will actually plug into us because we're marking those fees to zero at auctions on primary. Like even during this call, I've had 2 different groups ask me if they can plug into our auctions contracts for a use case that they want to utilize it for. So that's how you get all the new tokens that came in between 2017 and 2021, just to keep the analogy going. I think that a lot of those are naturally going to come to our platform, because when you do the auction is when all the initial listings get posted up. And so when you're doing those initial listings and it's all on the same platform, that takes care of the long tail. So what do we need to do in the immediate term where people want to move over all of their current listings? How do we attack the true moat that OpenSea actually has, which is those listings? Because the moat of our liquidity layer, once we move all of that over and have the long tail, this is not like when Uniswap was vampire attacked by Sushi, where there's probably 80-20 principle, 20 liquidity providers providing 90% of Uniswap's liquidity. And all you had to do was convince 20 people to move over ERC20 tokens, which are fully fungible. In this case, you have to talk 100,000 listings to move over. But the ones that are truly valuable, if we just say, hey, we're going to comp everybody that moves listings over, people are going to game it. And they're basically going to go in and they're going to either mint shitty projects on like Polygon and then come list everything to get a bunch of the fees. Or what they're essentially going to do is mint all of their bad NFTs that like went to zero because no one was interested in them, and they never have any chance of selling on our platform. So they get exit liquidity for those tokens. Like that's not ideal. So what we should do is incentivize really only the top 200 projects, and 5 of those top 200 projects are like Fluff World, who I think will move over. So some immediate term things that I think that we should be doing is for the top 200 projects, we should incentivize them to move over by making sure that if something's bought or sold on Universe for those top 200 projects, the buyer and the seller essentially pay less fees and have a more money in their pocket than if they had used OpenSea. And we have to do that through listings, and not listings themselves, but listings sold. Because otherwise they'll go list everything on our platform for 1,000 ETH, and like it's never going to sell at that price. The second thing that we need to focus on as a go-to-market, as a rational go-to-market and not a Ponzi scheme, is to view ourselves as scaling like Amazon, where we give some type of a finder's fee so that more platforms are interested in plugging into Universe. Another thing that I think that we should do, which is a longer term thing, is that I think that we can build custom experiences for some of what we'll call the top 20 projects, or the 20 things that are going to drive 90% of the volume on the platform. So something like an InterDAO, we would have custom areas for. Something like a Fluff World, we can try to build custom things in there that makes the experience better. Things like Fractional, we can essentially build a custom experience for that, and then they can fork that experience and put it on their own interface. That's a bigger piece of work, and I don't think it's realistic that we can do that, even start thinking about that until 90 or even more, 180 days after the marketplace launches, because we're going to have a lot of work to do just fixing bugs and feature requests and things just from people using it in and of themselves. And also, we need to port those listings over, because it doesn't really matter if we have a better experience of looking at it. Ultimately, what they're going to do is they're going to use all of our tools that we custom built. There's no listings. They're just going to go actually make the trades on OpenSea. So we're just driving value to OpenSea. So number one is making sure that we get listings ported over. Number two is making sure that we communicate with industry players and partners that this finder's fee exists, because OpenSea doesn't give one and Zora can change it. So we have a competitive reason that they should want to integrate with us. The third bucket is custom experiences for top projects. And I had a fourth one, but it's 5 p.m. So I just want to communicate with everyone that I don't control this, right? Like, we ultimately are going to have to vote on things, on how all this gets rolled out. But that's my vote in a well thought out way that we can. Oh, sorry. The fourth thing was the auctions for Longtail. If we're attracting more talent artists to our platform because they can keep more of what they created, then ultimately we're going to get better artists. Like, people don't like to pay a fee if they don't have to. And so if we can execute on those 4 things, then Universe will put a dent into OpenSea's monopoly. And that is much more sustainable than if we launch some Ponzi-nomics bullshit like what Looks did. Like if I wanted to build a Ponzi scheme, I could build one, but that's not what we set out here to do. So I think that our go-to-market, and some are short-term, some are long-term. I do not think it will be hard to incentivize the top 200 projects. That's, I mean, Ryan can correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems pretty easy. I think that we can incentivize the listings, and then that just comes down to me and other people telling a lot of projects that they can do this. The top 20 experience, again, can't do that out of the gate. And then the auctions is just a long tail thing. There's going to be something that launches on our platform that becomes a top 200 project and replaces the other ones. And that's good. That hopefully all the top 200 projects were launched on our platform via auctions. I mean, unrealistic, but that if that happens, then OpenSea no longer has any moat against us. So we are thinking about this.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the listing incentivization and like order migration stuff. I think tooling on that front is very important to make it easy for people to take over their existing listings and kind of get them all set up on Universe. Of course, there's a little bit of transactions for approving collections, but if you have, say, like 10 fluffs for sale on OpenSea, it's just one transaction to approve to basically get all of them listed for sale, not like 10 different transactions or anything like that. So it, once you kind of figure out how the migration works, as a user, it feels pretty smooth.
Yeah. I actually think that once everyone kind of wrapped their heads around this concept, it definitely kind of like opened the floodgates of everyone just being like, okay, yeah, this makes a lot of sense. Because like the big thing is like everyone always wonders how we're going to get the marketplace to like take over, and without doing stuff that puts us in like a weird gray area with the law. So I mean, I'm in full support of this idea too. Like once we all kind of saw it and started thinking about it, it was like, it just seems like a no brainer. So yeah.
I've been hearing Universe Marketplace, and I'm definitely excited for it. And I do intend to be one of those dope artists that do come over that Zach was speaking about. Yeah, I have some successful pieces on OpenSea, and I just know the people behind all of this are fucking wizards. So yeah, I'm excited for that.
Nice.
Who's talking? Just so we know, because it doesn't like bring you to the top or anything.
That's
G-Bird
G-Bird.
photo.
Awesome.
Hey now.
Also, just so everyone knows, a lot, like when I'm saying that those 4 buckets, like those were also inspired by a lot of what was in that forum post. I think that we just internalized it and put it into like, short, medium, and long term. I think they're all important. So like I don't want to make it sound like we read all that and didn't listen and are just doing our own thing. We just wrapped everything that was said that were really good ideas into like a workable format that's reasonable. And to Troy's point, so first of all, thank y'all for like contributing that, because it absolutely helped us formulate a plan. And to Troy's point, it's not even about the legality of Looks. It's that what they're doing is not real. It's not actually taking any volume away from OpenSea. So like, what's the point? Like, not only does it put us into sketchy regulatory waters, and we want to be building this for, I mean, I don't know how long I'm going to live, but on top of that, it's not effective, right? Like, we need to actually take, like, if it was very effective, ultimately it's still a DAO. People could vote in, and essentially it's not our decision, right? The issue though is it's not. So on top of it, like there's numerous red flags about it. So we fortunately were able to see through SOS and Looks that that model it only works for like optically. So let's come up with something that actually works. And that's what we're going for here, so that we can actually build. Are we going to take over all of OpenSea's volume? Probably not. I mean, not in the like first year. But we need to take enough of it. And yeah, Ponzinomics are probably not the way to do it, as we've seen. We have to come up with something much more sustainable.
I think we're all a lot more interested in effective incentives that actually create a healthy marketplace, and not like 2 minutes of marketing hype because we're doing a whole bunch of volume that actually is not going to stay for very long. That's my 2 cents.
I just need to clarify. Mark pointed out anybody that runs an auction, there's 0% fees, not just artists, collectors.
Yeah, anyone
As long as you're the auctioneer.
plug
I
into it.
think
You
out
can
of the
bring
gate, I'm gonna
one.
do an auction with the Genesis fluff and his queen wife and the one of my Snoop burrows as like a three-peat, and I'll just auction it and everyone can bid what they want on it. So like, yeah, I mean, that's a use case of the auctions, is I can auction out my own collection. I was never gonna sell the Genesis fluff, but ultimately I care enough about Universe and I want the whole fluff ecosystem to pay attention. So yeah, I'm gonna do that.
I think my plan is to create the 25th shirtless Charles through scrambling and then auction him off as a 1 of 1. That should be fun.
So wait, I feel like
I
I
guess
should know this.
I'm working on auctions as well, which Transmental talked to me about today. So we'll figure that out. Ultimately, I mean, it doesn't really make a difference because the money's going to the DAO either way.
So wait, I feel like I should know this, but so are you guys saying that when I auction, like, let's say like an NFT that I own that I didn't make or that I just already own, that has 0 fees as well?
Yeah, so
Yeah, 'cause there's no way to segment that, like, you're not the artist or anything like that. So
So it's not just on primary sale.
anyone can sell whatever they want without fees on the auctions, but you do have to, of course, pay your collection royalties and whatever other royalties that are tied into that NFT. So it doesn't get around any of these royalties you're paying otherwise, but it doesn't have this 2.5% OpenSea fee or whatever marketplace fee Universe is charging. It does have the ability to be configured by the DAO though. So in the future, if the DAO does decide to turn on fees for auctions, it could opt for a fee and maybe a fee lower than the Universe marketplace, for example, to kind of stay true to that vision.
What do you guys think about possibly eventually, like for maybe a V2, making a function where we like made it possible for people to trade NFTs?
I've
Like
seen
an
that. I mean,
escrow?
I don't think there's any reason we shouldn't do that, because I think that will at least reduce some of the wash trading. But like, are you talking about having like an escrow that when both sides are met, that it transfers?
Yeah, I don't know how exactly it would be set up, but I was saying, yeah, like basically somebody a way
You
that
would
both people could
you would
like.
do it. You would both put something in, and then like you both sides would then just have to say agree, and once both sides agreed, it would just activate. So it'd be like an escrow,
Exactly.
and then it would like you would match it up, and if you said yes, and the other person said yes, it would just flip it. The last person to hit yes would just pay the transaction fee for the swap.
So our contracts actually do support NFT to NFT swaps on the marketplace. I think the question is how you actually create a good user experience around NFT trading. I know a few others have tried their hand at it. I haven't seen anything that I really like yet and I think is revolutionary, but I think innovation on that front would be awesome.
I think it would be dope if you could, like, if you went to somebody's page and they had a sick, like, escrow, and you had, like, this marijuana that you thought was on the same level, rarity-wise, you could just, like, click the little, like, 3 dots and then, like, submit NFT for trade. And then if they accept it, then the transaction goes through.
So it's kind of like
Maybe I'm bonkers, but like that seems like the easiest shit in the world. Like, I don't know how nobody's built that properly. Maybe they're trying to build it where you're swapping and they're trying to figure out how much it's worth. But like Troy's right. Like you just have a vault that they go to. It custom creates a vault, and then both sides have to hit approve, and then it swaps it. If one
Dude,
side hits decline, then it just goes back. That sends it back to each other's wallets. Like,
you just do it through bids, like the same way you can make an offer on any NFT. You can, instead of making an offer in WETH, you can make an offer with another NFT, and if they accept
Right.
that,
Yeah, exactly.
if the swap doesn't happen, no need for any more crazy gas. It's just one signature and one transaction, and that's it.
so wait,
Yep.
Ryan, are you saying that is gonna be in
I
the
mean,
marketplace at launch?
it's the same thing.
We don't have support for that on the marketplace front end side.
Probably
that's
for V2.
Back end and front end support, yeah, but our contracts do absolutely support that.
Okay, cool. Well, yeah, it's not gonna be there at launch, everybody, but like it doesn't.
You can
seem
expect
that
it probably.
bad.
But
Yeah.
another thing that I have also, I think I've talked to you guys about being interested in is something that OpenSea used to do is allow people to do private sales with no fee, and they took it away. And when they took it away, what ended up happening was people started using these alternate sites to trade on, and I think that in my opinion, it is for the best to allow people to do private sales on our website for no fees, because what ended up happening to OpenSea is they ended up having to shut down a lot of like Bored Apes and like really expensive NFTs that if they had just kept trading and allowed the private sales to go on, these NFTs that like would have not got turned off would have probably overall made, they don't have a DAO, but it was, let's say for us it's a DAO, it would definitely generate more revenue to the DAO than forcing people to go on another website and potentially having to deal with them getting scammed for the. I don't know. I've said that in my opinion, just from my experience, I think OpenSea, it backfired on them a lot because a lot less people are able to a lot less people, or no, not a lot less people, but a lot of NFTs have gotten turned off that would have generated the protocol more money and it like just created problems for people. So yeah, in my opinion, we also should have a situation where people are able to do private sales for zero fees, because I mean private sales don't really happen that often, and if they are going to happen, they're going to happen. Like there's not really a way around it, so it might as well just make a safe experience for people to get that done so that we don't have to deal with somebody stealing their NFT.
I agree 100% with that, just because having stuff like that, I mean, that just plays into our whole ethos, right? Like we don't take fees on the auctions. We don't take, like, that just makes total sense.
Yeah, nice. I'm glad we're on the same page on that.
I think
Always, sir.
the other interesting part of this is the royalty side, that the royalties can be used in a way where you can like create custom curated front ends, hook them into the universe marketplace, take a fee for powering this this curated front end, and then this kind of goes to that like network effect or kind of like referral system almost, but with different marketplaces that have like their own niches potentially being powered by universe.
All right, this is some serious alpha right here.
But that would
Like-
be that would require integration partners and people who are actually building out curated marketplaces, of course.
Yeah, but that's who we're talking with. I mean, we're talking with the JPEG guys. I mean, we're talking with Fractional. We're talking with, I mean, InterDAO is going to do it. They help build Universe. So like
they can all hook in. They can put up their own fee, whatever they want to charge on their front ends, and the DAO gets their 1.5% or whatever DAO fee ends up being voted on.
Charles 69, all lowercase.
Hope setup channel. Click the little profile picture. Send him a DM. Give him the code.
Get left
Charles.
behind, guys.
And I'm just
Don't get
gonna
left
say
behind.
now we have to just start giving everybody the wrong one for the fuckers that just tune into the end for the code. So we should just start saying
Code is
it's,
Charles.
it's 69 Charles, all lowercase.
Glenn 69.
But everyone knows the real
Beanie 69.
That is so funny. He already had it typed before you. Like he was. Why did y'all both think of that?
And that's so fun.
This is called PSYOPs. 69 Charles, all lowercase.
Chuba69. I'm not a polymorph.
Oh, turn your DMs back off after you send
Oh,
in the
I
because
get it.
you don't want to.
You're not a polymorph, but you're gonna be.
Yeah,
You're
so
not a
turn your
polymorph, but you're gonna be a redacted. We'll have to name one Chuba.
yeah. Don't trust the person in your DMs who's telling you you're gonna get free Bitcoin.
My friends endearingly call the polymorphs Chuba punks, and I always feel good when they say that. I mean, not at first, maybe like a year ago, but now they're always texting me about the Chuba punks, and I'm like, I love you guys.
You didn't
What are-
get one?
What are Chuba punks?
No, I'm saying my friends call the polymorphs Chuba punks.
Oh, that is what they are.
I don't know about that, but it's an endear.
Punks isn't like trademarked and like they can't do that, can they?
They can't. No, you can't. They can't. They can trademark the word crypto punk, but they can't trademark the word punk.
Interesting.
I don't know. They might be able to.
You think so? Maybe
I-
if it's an NFT, they might be able to, but like not in for general use.
I don't know, but I think we can just name it a. Maybe
It's
we'll do
polymorph. Let's name it a polymorph.
a Chuba punk.
This is how we came up with the name polymorph. So we were about to name it a Chuba punk, and decided to just name it polymorph.
They really should be called George punks, but that's okay.
George punks. Yeah, you guys don't even get to talk to George. Well, next time we'll make George talk on the AMA.
I'm gonna wake him up at like 3 a.m. and have him talk about the morphs.
He'll get excited though, even at 3 a.m.
He won't be able to fall back asleep after that.
We won't do that to George.
No, of course not.
If you want to talk to George, you got to join the InterDAO AMAs.
So people are commenting on the private sale stuff and like whether it makes sense to offer no fee private sales. Essentially, like you can argue that the marketplace's service is matching buyers and sellers. So if you already have a buyer and seller, the DAO can, I guess, for free offer the ability to trustlessly make that exchange. But there is an argument that the DAO should only take fees for matches that it actually helps facilitate, where you didn't know the buyer or seller before entering into the agreement, so to speak. So I can see both arguments, but I also don't think that having feeless private listings really takes a big hit out of the overall whatever the fees the DAO would be earning.
It just prevents people from getting scammed is the bigger thing. That
Exactly.
like we of course like it would help the DAO, I guess, to take the fee if it, but overall like the bigger thing is it's just not looking at the bigger picture. It's just looking at it through a microscope. You have to understand that if we're having to turn off NFTs, that is going to lose us more money than taking the fee on these private sales, because most people don't do private sales. Like I'm in a lot of I've collected over 200 NFTs, so and I join the Discord every time I buy a new NFT and I participate. So I'm trying to consolidate nowadays to ones that I really believe in, but and there's no community where like there already is places to do feeless trading, and there's no community where everyone's like, oh, let's avoid the fee, let everybody trade through the Discord. Like that just doesn't happen. Like most people are lazy and they're just like, I'm gonna try to snipe the best deal. Also, a lot of people list on the floor, and like a lot of people aren't very confident is another thing. Like they don't want to go in the Discord and be like, hey, let's create a private sale, and you know what I mean, because they don't even talk, they don't even say hey in the Discord. They just look for the announcements. So that really isn't something that I think is a good argument, because that's not what will happen. Like no, there's not going to be like a revolution where every single person is like, we're only going to do private sales. So
Yeah.
and even if that did happen, like I would be so impressed that I would not care that much anyway. You know what I mean? That would just be impressive, honestly.
Yeah. There was another argument, Algie, you made for this before. I'm trying to remember exactly how you made it. Actually, I guess if I remember, I'll bring it.
But Gunnar, the thing is like I would want you to use it more because when you trade your NFT, all you're basically doing is trading ETH for the NFT, right? That's better the person can still sell the NFT at the same price if they change their mind the next day, and you could go buy another NFT with that ETH that you just got. And overall, neither of y'all got scammed, and so overall the ecosystem is benefiting from this. When you think about it, it's better than you having to risk it on this other website, us having to turn off your NFT, and then one of the parties not being able to continue moving forward with their NFT experience because they got scammed.
Yeah, that was what we were making, is that the amount of money the DAO could lose if we have to be turning off these NFTs could be much greater than the fees that could be collected on the private sales because of the number of users getting scammed on these private listings.
Yeah, I just think overall it will allow like a better flow of continuing, like just like not having as much issues with people. It's just it was greedy when OpenSea turned off. They had it off at the beginning, and it was because it made sense. They turned it on because they got greedy, in my opinion. I mean, how else could you argue? And when they did that, it messed up what they had going because now they are constantly dealing with scams and they don't want to admit they were wrong. Is why they don't turn it back off. You know what I'm saying?
Somebody goes, maybe one day we might contact message an NFT holder prior to exchange. I used to like mint Polygon NFTs to try to like reach people if there was no other way of accessing like a communication channel with them. I know there's like ETH mail now and a few other things, but I think that's actually still the best way to contact an NFT holder is to just mint them a Polygon NFT and send it over to them.
Are people actually using ETH mail?
No, not that I'm aware of. I have like one email in there that somebody sent me. I have no idea why they sent me mail or how they found my address or whatever, but
We like looked into using that as a way to like give out, people could have like barnbridge.e like email accounts and stuff like that. And we always thought that would be a cool way to like decentralize like DAO communications, but that was like almost like over a year ago. So I was just curious if people had like actually caught on to like if that was like a usable system.
now there's a new system that came out, but it doesn't have like ENS support like that, and you definitely can't do like subdomain support. Maybe like if that's where they could at. I don't know like what their tech stack looks like or how upgradable or their contracts are. I know like ENS.
What about?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's all good. I was just gonna say
just,
like ENS is upgradable, so you don't actually like own your ENS domains. Like those could always be pulled in a contract upgrade or something. So I don't know how like whether it's the same situation.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of an interesting way though. You could like create like in the universe, like front end, you could create a mailing system through it. But like you said, there's probably some problems there.
Hey everybody,
Anyway,
I'm gonna hop.
I gotta hop too.
Yeah, I gotta hop because I need to get dinner before I got other calls this evening. So
Yes, sir.
I love all of y'all.
Yeah, we love you guys. Talk to you
guys.
later.
Talk soon.
Remember, 69 Charles, all lowercase.
Charles 70 is the code. Talk to y'all soon.
I thought it was Chubba Punk.
Ah, damn it. I don't remember.
I forgot, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Chubba Punk.
Double punk. Yeah, that sounds right.
You could try Goblin Town, but it might not work.
Later.
Bye, everybody.
Peace.
All right, bye guys. Yeah, we're all hopping.